Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is Saturday, so it is the weekly energy card reading. And what this is every Saturday you go through and you just pick one of 3 tarot decks. And then I go ahead and do a spread to show what the general energies will be for the following week. If you want to jump straight to your reading, the timestamps are always listed in the description box below. And I do ask, sometimes the reading is what we refer to as a universal reading. If you come across it at a different time and you feel drawn to the video, there definitely could be some messages contained, so please feel free to check it out, even if it's not the 3rd week in February. And speaking of which, I can't believe it's the 3rd week of February. This reading would be for the 22nd through the 29th, and I can't believe it's almost over. But I'm kind of excited. I'm glad. To be honest, I'm a little worn out. We had the D20 reading this week, and I'm taking some classes on environmental awareness. So, I don't have the normal 2 days off anymore, outside of work. So I am kind of dragging, so I apologize. I promise I will give your reading my full attention. And honestly, I do owe you guys some charms. We haven't done a charms reading in a while, and I promise we'll do another one of those soon. I would really love to do, also I'd been thinking about doing another themed reading sometime soon, but definitely just check out in the next couple weeks. If there's a theme that you'd like us to read about, please feel free to leave a comment. And also, if you like the content of my channel, I would be very honored if you would like, comment, or subscribe. To clarify the 3 decks, so we do have 3 decks today. We have the White Sage Tarot by Theresa Hutch, and on top of it we have a little pearl. It's a real freshwater double pearl. I always think of it like the Lovers, because it's two pearls in one. It's got a good energy. And then the second deck is the Sun and Moon Tarot by Vanessa Decort. And on top of it, we actually have Obsidian, which is AKA Dragon Glass, for any fans of Dragon Glass out there. And the third deck is the Zillich Tarot. And what is beautiful, on top of it, we have a beautiful stone. The lighting really doesn't do it justice. It's almost a really bright London blue color. And honestly, this is kind of turning out to be a lucky stone. I have been doing I've been taking a class in environmental awareness. So I've been kind of doing some rearranging of my home. And as I was rearranging, I was finding a new place to hold all of my material. And this fell out. The stone fell out, so I think I had put it in a pocket of one of the bags and forgot about it, and then it fell out and popped right out, and it's such a pretty bright blue. So it has a good energy. I'm glad. I'm kind of excited to be using it in this week's read. And I wanted to do something special again, because I didn't want it to be just tarot cards, but I'm going to go ahead and pull additional cards from the. I'm never saying it right. The name of the decks are in the description box below, but it's a beautiful Lenormand deck by a German artist that I purchased on Etsy. And so I will go ahead, and as we're going through, I will go ahead and pull. I think these 2 stones came together, actually. They're kind of a fluorite color. But I will stop blabbering, and I will go ahead and let you choose your deck. Please feel free to choose from your intuition. Whatever deck you're drawn to, maybe you're drawn to the stone or the timestamp or the number of the deck. But I'll give you a minute to let you decide, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. If you ever need more time for any, to choose a deck, by all means, feel free to pause the video, or, if you want to watch, if you're drawn, I always like to say if you're drawn to more than one deck, I usually I usually have one deck that I'm really, really drawn to, and I pick that one first, and then there might be another deck that I'm kind of drawn to, and then I'll watch that video second. So it's definitely up to you, whatever you want to do. Ooh, the Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck. This has been, that's been I've been seeing that card a lot lately. Okay, so deck number 1, the White Sage Tarot with your Pearl. What is your week going to be like? What's the next 7 days? Ooh, okay. Oh my gosh, guys. That's an awesome start. Got some powerful changes going on. Okay, middle of the week. Thank you. Please clarify the Ace of Wands in reverse. Please clarify the Ace of Wands. Oh, thank you. Okay, that clarifies it. We'll get into it in just a minute, guys. I hope you can see okay. Again, with the rearranging, I do have my camera stand kind of in a new position, but if you cannot see, please let me know. Okay. All right, guys. So your week, and so deck 1, the beginning of the week, you got the Hanged Man and you got Death. And I don't want you to be afraid. There's no bad cards in tarot. I actually hold a weekly series called How to Tarot, and we How to Tarot on Death not too long ago. It's a powerful card, but basically Death means transformation. And the imagery of the cards I take into consideration, and what I was kind of giggling about is that in a lot of depictions, death is represented by a butterfly. And here, your second card, you got the Hanged Man and you got the butterfly. And what it is the butterfly here, when butterflies when caterpillars take that J shape, what it is this is the position that the caterpillar takes as it becomes immobilized, and it begins to spin a cocoon around itself in order to transform. And this is actually a phase in caterpillar. If you Google, there's lots of other good videos on YouTube that talk about this process, but they get frozen in that position, right? They're almost paralyzed. And what they do is they use every ounce of their strength. It's almost like taking inventory, even though all caterpillars are made to transform. They literally liquefy everything inside of themselves, including their brain and including their organs, to manifest the wings, and they're the one insect that in this living world that actually experiences a kind of death. So what I see here is, and this being the beginning of your week, I know you've got some heavy cards just for a weekly reading, but what it means is that you are already going through a major life cycle, right? You are already going through a major life cycle. You are taking inventory, and you've been probably doing this for a while now. It's not like you're just doing this, Sunday through Tuesday, right? But you're doing what this butterfly's doing. You are curling up, and you are about to utilize every single resource that you have within your being. You're about to liquidize yourself into a chrysalis, into a liquid. You're going to stew yourself in order to have a transformation. And you've been doing this for a while, but you're probably going to be feeling it. You're going to be feeling the kind of punch of this energy very prevalently at the beginning of, from Sunday through Tuesday of next week. Now, what I love about the Death card is that you see how there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? So this is definitely almost as if, this is almost looking like you are curling up to, this would almost be the view of breaking out of a cocoon, right? I think what you are doing is you're looking and you're evaluating and you're preparing for what is to come after you metamorphosize. So I think you have some kind of major things going on in your life right now. Maybe you're about to graduate from school, or maybe you have some very huge work projects in play. But I have a feeling that, maybe you're about to move away from home, or I just get this feeling as if you are really taking stock of what you need to do, and there's going to be no nuance wasted. Like, you're going to, maybe you have to budget down to the penny in order to make this metamorphosis, but you're preparing for that. You know what you have to do, and you're starting the process, right? You're starting the process. And I think something, and again, I know this is just a weekly energy, but you're going to be feeling this energy. You're already on this path. You've been on this path, but you're going to really feel like you are experiencing this at the beginning of next week. And I really get the feeling as if, in order to get this breakthrough, you are making some sacrifices, and you're feeling it. Again, maybe you're budgeting for something, or maybe you're already in the middle of something. But the other thing about the Hanged Man is the Hanged Man is looking at a situation from a disadvantage, but he's enlightened by it. So I do think that what it is whatever situation's going on for you, you feel like you're at a vulnerable place, but you also feel like you're in the middle of it, right? You feel frozen. You almost feel a little bit immobilized. Again, this is an immobilization. I'm getting a real strong feeling as if you are paused right now, and you are paused because things are churning within you. You have major changes going on right now, and you almost have to be still. If you've ever had those times in your life where you've got maybe you're in the middle of a major move, and it's just like all of the rest of the world, is on pause, right? Nothing else requires. You have to put your full energy and focus on what it is that's transforming you right now. Now, by the middle of the week, you're gonna have a little bit of a situation with you got the Queen of Wands and you got the Three of Swords. So I'm definitely getting this feeling as if I'm getting a strong feeling as if the Queen of Wands is a separate person, and this is a separate person that you know very well, but something about this metamorphosis, something about this transformation, you're becoming something different. I think it's causing it's making you a little bit estranged from somebody, and this is a very fiery and dynamic queen. I know she looks kind of cool in this picture, but the other thing is also, if you look at the moon cycles, I think that's the same moon cycle too. That's going to be the middle of next week. But you're going to have a little bit of a falling out with a very fiery and creative and dynamic woman. Now, this could be a coworker, or it could be a sibling, could be a girlfriend, but I do feel, whatever your gender, I do get the feeling like this is a separate person. I get the feeling that this is a separate person, and you're really going to have a little bit of an estrangement. And I feel like it's related to this. Either that, or it's either you transforming is kind of fueling this conflict, or something about the way this person is treating you is making you feel like you have to transform. But the Three of Swords is definitely, and when you look at this deck, this is considered what we call a pip deck, which is where there's, it's not, pip decks are not like the traditional tarot where they show a story, show a picture. They just have the Three Swords. But in this deck, the ribbons represent chakra colors. And with blue, blue is is your voice. It's your Why can't I speak today? I'm not utilizing my blue ribbon, that's why. It's, oh gosh. This is killing me. I'll go ahead and put it on the video, but it's your sense, it's your ability to speak. And what it is I do think that this woman being the Queen of Wands, it's funny, I always get a little thrown because in this deck, when I see birds, I think of good communicators. But when it comes to the Queen of Wands, she can be a little bit of a prideful character, and she's not in the reverse, but Queen of Wands definitely represents Leo. And Leos are they're very dynamic and they're very warm, but the only thing with Leos is that you can't, they take a little bit of an affront if they get insulted. If they get insulted, they can have a lot of pride. And what I'm kind of seeing is, I'm seeing how, you see how this is really a wing, but it kind of looks like a shoulder. I have a feeling that somebody is giving you the cold shoulder, right? But, you know, and again, you know, the Queen of Wands is normally a very warm character, and here I'm seeing, you know, very cool colors. So I think that you really are going to be feeling kind of a separation, either that or I just get this feeling like you want to communicate. The other thing is that these swords are all kind of bound together by the ribbon. So I feel like I do get kind of a vibe as this situation, this transformation is kind of keeping you apart from people, and you're really kind of at a stalemate. You're kind of at a distance from someone, and you are feeling a little bit of the cold shoulder. Like it's almost like this transformation is causing some kind of rift or separation, and it's painful. But it also, I feel like, I just get this feeling like you are not communicating with the Queen of Wands, but you feel bound like you want to. But yep, so by the middle of the week, I definitely get a feeling like this is not you. I feel like this is someone else, but you are just going to have a little bit. And it's again, the Three of Swords also represents three parties, right? If I put this card in between the two, it's almost like you in a frozen state, them, you know, being the Queen of Wands, and then this situation is kind of causing a rift. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Ace of Wands in reverse, and to clarify, you got the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords has more of that blue ribbon. It has more of that that voice, you know, and I just really feel like it's a fault. It's like it's a start that you want, you know, you want to begin, you want to go, but you're not going anywhere, right? You know, you're not going anywhere for a little while, right? It's almost like there's a real drive to go, and the fact that she's Wands and this is Wands, it's, you know, it's like a blocked energy. It's you want to rev and go and get, like, you want to jump off, but you can't, you know, your lift off is thwarted, and you're feeling really stuck. By the end of the week, you're going to feel a little bit stuck, because again, the Eight of Swords makes you feel like you're trapped, even though you do have choices. You have free will. You know, if you want to do something, you can do it. But I definitely feel like there's a lot of blocked communication, and by the middle of the week, you know, there's definitely just going to be kind of a little bit of a painful separation from a very fiery kind of female character. And then by the end of the week, you're going to feel a little bit stuck. You're going to have a lot of energy that you want to express. I would say that if you are being blocked, if you're stuck in some kind of situation, because again, you know, the Eight of Swords and this caterpillar are really speaking to me, right? I think it isn't like a normal stuck where, you know, you can do something right now. You know, you can't do anything right now about it, and it's frustrating you. But I would just say that you do have some pent up energy by the end of the week. You're really going to feel kind of thwarted and that's, you know, that can turn you into a little bit of a steam kettle, if you know what I mean. So you do want to kind of maybe, if you are feeling frustrated about a situation, try to blow off some steam in kind of a healthy way. Maybe you can go for a walk, or, you know, do something physical. Definitely. You are going to be very up in your head. You're going to be up in your mind. You're going to be thinking about this, you know, this metamorphosis. You're going to be feeling kind of, you know, separated. You're going to feel a little isolated. And I've noticed that, just to note, I've seen that a lot whenever somebody goes through a major change. It is almost a little bit of a depressive energy. When you start to get a little bit, you know, feeling blue, you start to, what it is you start to think that no one would understand how you're feeling, and then you kind of pull away. But definitely, you know, if you don't feel like socializing, don't socialize, but try to express that energy somehow, maybe creatively. You know, if there's a hobby or something with your hands, and definitely something physical. If you can go for a walk, if you can, you know, if you like to roller skate, or, you know, whatever you like to do, try to do that to kind of burn off some of that energy. I think that will help you feel a little bit better, and then, you know, those good endorphins will also help you think a little bit clearer. But to clarify, you got the fox. And now the fox gets kind of a bad reputation for being kind of cunning, for being manipulative and deceptive. But what we always have to remember about the fox is that they're cunning because they are self-sufficient, right? They're not a bad character. They're not a bad character, but I have a feeling that what this is telling me is that I think you're going to be in kind of a fox energy this week. You're going to be kind of looking after number one, and that's not a bad thing. But you're definitely in kind of in a very powerful, transformative phase in your life, and this is a vulnerable position, and you do have to be careful. You don't want anybody close to you while you're, you know, butterfly soup, right? And I don't think this character is a bad character, but I do think that whatever feelings that you have, try to communicate to the best of your ability, but you are definitely going to be in that energy, you know, or you're going to be dealing with someone in that energy. So I would just say, you know, the other thing is that, you know, foxes kind of chase birds, right? You know, it's almost like they're staring. You know, he almost looks like he's hunting, and she looks like she's staring him down, right? But I would just say, you know, use your best judgment. There is going to be a little bit of estrangement, but, you know, also definitely, you know, exude some energy. You know, try to do something, you know, and it doesn't even have to be anything big. You know, if you like to go bowling, if you like to, you know, whatever you like to do. All right, so that was deck number 1. So deck number 2, you got the obsidian, you got the dragon glass, which is really pretty. Or am I calling it it is dragon glass. It may not be, no, it's not onyx, it's obsidian. All right, and you got the sun and moon tarot. So, ooh, oh my gosh, you got 2 majors on the first day too. Okay, middle of our week. Oh, good. We got some good news. Okay. And for the record, Justice was trying to poke out, so that's a good sign. Okay, what is the theme for our week? Thank you. And can I just get one clarifier for star, please? Not that I need a clarifier for the star, but... Okay. So guys, just like the last deck, you got 2 majors for the beginning of the week. I don't know if this is a theme. It's not that you didn't get the same cards, but you got major arcana. So you got Temperance, and you got the Devil. So what I'm getting here is I'm getting this feeling as if you're trying really hard. At the beginning of the week, you're trying really hard. And again, I told the last deck the same thing. When you get majors throughout a spread for a weekly read, it doesn't mean that you're something out of the blue is just gonna, that something monumental is gonna hit you like a meteorite or something at the beginning of the week. Usually these are situations that have been going on for a while. You're just going to feel it a lot more. It's almost like, if you've ever, if you've ever been dieting for a while, but then you have one day where you really feel like you're dieting, right? Like you just crave everything, right? Or, if you've been saving money for a while and, you have that one period where you're actually seeing the boons of your hard work, it's kind of like that. You've been doing this for a while, but you're really going to feel, the heightened energy of this long-term effect at the beginning of the week. And what it is temperance is calibration, right? Temperance is balancing a situation. It's a little different than justice. It isn't like being judged for something. It's both emotionally within yourself and with other people, with relationships and just your life in general. Temperance, you can kind of see it. Like I see temperance a lot, being on the more woo-woo spiritual side, reading cards all the time. Sometimes I start really getting up in my head where I'll start throwing cards that'll say things like, keep yourself grounded, right? And you see here, I love this deck because it's got the little yin yang symbol. It means that, there are active and passive energies in life. But either extreme is not good, right? If I start getting so up in my head that I'm not, I can love to read cards all day, but if I forget to pay the electric bill, I'm going to be reading those cards in the dark, right? Or if I've been inside so much, reading books all day, sometimes it's the universe's way of saying, okay, you need to get out and socialize. You're becoming a hermit. You're not, So the temperance card just means that you might need to balance yourself a little bit. And I feel like you've been trying to balance yourself for a while, right? This isn't new energy. This is something that's been going on. Now, the way that I think that it's trying to balance yourself is you got the devil. And again, I don't want you to be afraid. There's no bad cards in tarot. And I do a weekly reading about the different tarot cards, like how to read. It's called the How to Tarot series. And we How to Tarot on the devil not too long ago. And what I like about this devil is, I don't love the devil. He's always a crafty character. You see a spider web, right? And you see these two people. They're not chained. They just have their arms looped together, right? And you see this devil that's like staring over them like he's just gotcha, like I got you, like the spider to the fly, right? So what you got to kind of ask yourself, and I love this deck for that reason, anytime you see a spider web, you got to ask yourself, okay, what is that web made of, right? What is it that's making me feel like the spider, the fly in the web, right? What's making me feel trapped? And that's what, there's a lot of things that can make you feel trapped. You can feel trapped in a situation. You can feel trapped in a relationship. You can feel trapped in a job. You can feel trapped by addictions, But here it's just telling you, and again, what I think is interesting is if you look, the other thing that I think is that I'm noticing is you notice how you kind of have, left and right, up and down. You have like the four corners. I think that's really interesting. I never noticed that before. But yes, I think it's telling you to it wants you to balance something that has gotten out of keel, right? There's some kind of an extreme that's been going on that you've been really struggling to get back into proper balance. Now, that can really, you would know what it is, but the other thing that it can also be is sometimes balances like that can be in relationships where if you are giving too much to another person and not enough to yourself, or vice versa, maybe you're being a little too selfish and you need to give a little bit more time to others. But whatever it is, you feel like you're fighting a kind of an addiction, right? And I don't mean that in a weird way, but when you look at the Temperance card, if you look at her clothes, it almost looks like the colors, right? It almost looks like the colors in the Devil card, right? So really, the devil is just about the things that make us feel trapped. That's all that is. It's just the things that make us feel trapped. And again, so here it is, the thing about the Temperance card is she does have 1 foot on land and she has 1 foot in the water. And water is always a mean emotion, and, land always means grounding, like I said earlier. So definitely at the beginning of the week, you're going to be in this, and you'll know what it is, but there's something that you've been trying to balance. And I really do kind of feel like you're going to be struggling. You're going to have a lot of up and down moments. That's the other thing that I'm getting, is that I'm looking at this steam and I'm seeing, okay, at one time it's swirling left and then it goes back right and then it goes back left. I think, if you are fighting some kind of longing or some kind of want, you're gonna really kind of feel it a little bit. That's going to be harder to balance. You're really going to have kind of ups and downs from Sunday through Tuesday, kind of at the beginning of the week. Now, by the middle of the week, this is really interesting energy, guys. You got the Princess of Wands, which is a really pretty card. You see this little kind of, it's the Page of Wands, and I love the tiger in that. And then you got the 9 of Swords, and you got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So by the middle of the week, I really just kind of feel like, again, just like we talked about going up and down, I really feel like you're going to have kind of by the middle of the week, you're going to be having some serious highs and lows. One minute you think like, it almost looks like the same girl, right? One minute you're going to be reaching for that star and you're going to feel like, and then the next minute you're going to be very anxiety ridden. And I do feel like I do think this is kind of relating to money a little bit, but it is also a little bit related to family. But definitely, I kind of read this one of two ways. You either have a very fiery child that, is really, outgoing, and you're either concerned about, you're really concerned about shelter or, financial stability and taking care of the child. Or I am kind of getting a vibe like, have you ever had those emotional times where one minute you just feel on top of the world, you feel so optimistic, you're singing along with the radio and dancing, and then the problems kind of creep back in and you go straight into anxiety ball mode? I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like that. I think you're trying to, I do kind of feel like it might be a little bit of a budget or a household budget kind of thing, where you're just really, you want your 10 of Pentacles, but your 10 of Pentacles is reversed, right? And that's that stable, happy home life. So you're really worrying. You're worrying about, and you see how the clouds are above the tree. It's almost like it got turned upside down, right? It got reversed. You are really going to be all up in your head about. You're going to have worries on your mind about, about your home and about stability. But you are going to have a few moments where you kind of get out of your head for a second. And when you actually get out of your head, you can kind of daydream and be that optimistic, And the thing about the page is that they are very childlike. They're a page. They're not a knight or a king or a queen. So it is almost like those spurts of enthusiasm that you get sometimes, again, like when you sing along with the radio. But I do get this feeling like it's going to be kind of an equal measure. It's almost like, okay, you'll go out and have fun to distract yourself, but then the moment that you have a moment to think, you go straight back into the, oh gosh, how am I going to fix this thing? So I do get the feeling as if there's something going on, with your home or stability, and it's really kind of putting you on that roller coaster. You're kind of up and down right now. And by the end of the week, you got, again, this card, when I just had to tarot it on the star, and this card was so, it's like auditioning for one of those shows, those, entertainment shows. It was such a tough competition because this is such a beautiful star. But you got the star. And gosh, guys, you don't get much better than that. It's such a pretty card. You see the pyramids, you see, the little mermaid, you see fish, and the stars just glowing and swirling. And what it means is that whatever you've been worried about, whatever you've been wrangling with, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And I think by the end of next week, it's not going to be a tangible thing that you can see and hold, but it's going to be a hope inside of your chest. You're just kind of, it's telling you to take heart, because whatever you've been wrangling with, whatever you've been worrying about, and it does, this feels very sacral chakra too. The fact that, you got so much red at the bottom, and these people are wearing red, I feel like you're concerned about your security. You're afraid, you're fearful for what is going to keep you safe, and it really feels home related. But by the end of the week, and you got the star, which is the most hopeful card in the whole deck. It's really, there are two cards that mean just it's okay, don't worry, and that's the star and that's the sun. And I asked for clarification, and underneath the star you got the 5 of Pentacles and you got the 7 of Swords. So, and the 7 of Swords is the looking out for your own best interest card. Normally it's depicted as being the thief card. But, and please don't take that personally, I'm not saying that that's you, because also if you look at this art, you see this person, she's holding a sword and she's got all these other swords, but she does not look like she won anything, right? It's like, great, I got all these swords. It's almost like, gosh, I got all these swords the nasty way, right? And then you got the 5 of Pentacles, which means it's the lack consciousness. The 5 of Pentacles is feeling like you are without. And I don't want you to panic. The fact that you have the star. And the other thing that I love about this deck is that it has keywords. And the 2 keywords is worry and futility. So exactly, guys. And the 10 of Pentacles is wealth, and it was in reverse. So what it is that the star is coming out over your worry and your sense of futility. And futility is when you just feel like there's no use, right? Why even fight? Because it's no use. I'm not going to win. Why even, try to fix this? Because it's not going to get fixed. It's just going to get worse. That's futility. Feeling like there's nothing you can do about it because it's just going to happen anyway, right? But the star is telling you that you're very worried right now, and you feel like it's futile, and you're trying to distract yourself. You're trying to have fun, but the moment you come down off that high, you immediately spiral into anxiety ball mode, and it's just telling you that try to balance. I know it is so try to tell someone not to worry about something when it is a big problem and it's a prevalent problem and it's something that's heavy. but it does want you to just have faith. It's telling you that you should have faith because things are going to change soon. Things are going to change soon. And I always tell everyone, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. You guys were totally out of focus. I always tell everyone that I tell my family, and I strive to walk my own talk. Energy follows thought. And worrying about something is putting your energy into, like, you've heard of creative visualization, right? If you imagine that you have something, that you're thankful for it, and then, of course you do still have to do work for it, but it will manifest, right? And I've seen it work all the time. But when you worry, what you're doing is you're imagining the worst case scenario and you're putting your energy towards it. And it's almost, your energy is powerful. Your energy is like these flames right here. It's powerful. And your mental energy, it has just as much oomph to it. You don't want to be wishing for what you don't want to happen, right? Wish for what you do want to happen. So, and if it makes you feel any better, it doesn't have to be all sun, I roll my eyes too, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have to imagine that, that everything's going to turn out in this glamorous. Think of it, imagine it turning out in a realistic way, right? Don't imagine that you're going to win the lottery. Imagine that you just imagine that. The other thing about creative visualization is don't try to control the outcome. Don't try to envision how it's going to come to you. Just imagine. Imagine instead of winning $1 million, say, I don't need $1 million, but imagine if I paid off all of my credit cards. Imagine how that would feel, right? And then think about it. Be like, wow, imagine yourself without writing that check every month, without scheduling that bill payment. And let that energy, let that be what you're thinking about, because that's a lot more positive way. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard. But by the end of the week, you are going to kind of get what it is that you're still going to be in worry mode, and you're still going to be going up and down by the end of the week. You're really going to be in that energy. But I do think that by the end of the week, you're going to feel some kind of glimmer of hope in the center of your chest. You're going to you're not going to see any outward signs that anything is changing. But somehow you're going to know, you're going to feel that this is going to be okay. And I really want you to follow that star. I want you to take that energy when you feel it, and please tell me, please chat or leave a message if this actually happens. If at the end of the week you're having your gloom and doom moments, at some point you just feel, you get that twinge in your solar plexus that everything's going to be okay. And if you follow that, if you use that energy, if you channel that energy and think, oh, imagine, how would I feel if I didn't have any credit card payments, right? Or how would I feel if this home security thing didn't exist, in a realistic way? So go ahead and follow that star. Follow that star, and I think by the end of the week you will be. But again, if you feel the twinge, follow it. And the Lenormand card that you got is, you got the anchor. And the anchor is such a beautiful card. It means enduring. It means enduring. It means sticking out a situation. It also means staying grounded. Wow, and we talked about that, didn't we, guys? We talked about staying grounded, right? And how cool is that? Because we talked about, water and earth, right? An anchor touches water and earth. But the anchor is a beautiful card. It definitely means stability. It means stability, but it also means that whatever storm, whatever water is trying to, if you're the boat, whatever water is trying to throw you around, get anchored, get stable, and endure, right? But when I see this card, I'm getting a very strong feeling as if it knows that you are going to endure, that you are going to be okay, that this is going to be okay. All right, guys. Well, that is a very positive read, and definitely, if you do have those Princess of Wands moments, please enjoy them. I know. Sometimes you say, okay, what's and again with the futility card, what's the use of even being happy for a minute? Oh, believe me, those little sparks, that singing along with the radio, that doing one thing that really cheers you up, the endorphins from that make a world of difference. And if you're going through a tough time, you need the endorphins. Yep. All right, guys. So third deck, we've got the Zillich Tarot, and I'm happy to bring this out. I really love this deck. If you watched my 31 Days of Tarot, my favorite High Priestess comes from this deck, and it's so gorgeous. All right, so deck number 3. What kind of week are we gonna have? Sorry, guys. I'm being kind of OCD, and I'm like I'm lining my cards up with the shapes in my tablecloth. So your little star over here is getting the center by your stone. So don't mind me. Sorry, guys. Okay. So focus, please. Look, there's a squirrel. Sorry. Oh wow. Okay. End of the week, please. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go ahead and read it like this, which is a little bit different. Interesting. That same High Priestess I was telling you about came out, so she's a gorgeous one, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we'll read this all together. Let's get your Lenormand card. Wow, you guys have kind of a powerhouse week. You're definitely towards the end. Oh, guys, wonderful. All right. So, guys, at the beginning of the week, you honestly are having a really good week. You're having a good week. Now, I explained the other two decks, and I feel obligated to explain it here. Anytime you see a major arcana card, the majors are big life events. And when you see it in a weekly reading, it doesn't mean that like a major life event's going to happen on Wednesday or anything like that. No meteorites are going to, come out of the stratosphere and hit you in the head or anything. But it definitely means that you've probably been in this energy for a while, and you're really going to feel the punch of it. It's almost like a burst of energy that you're going to feel, related to those events that have been going on. And what we have here is at the beginning of the week, you got the 9 of Cups, and the descriptor for this is bliss. And so by the beginning of the week, you're going to feel the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith has the man sitting in front of a table with 9 cups, and he looks really smug, right? I think there's going to be some kind of celebration. You're going to feel very on top of the world. Either that, or at the beginning of the week, you're just going to feel like you have a lot, right? You're going to feel like you have a lot. Now, I definitely feel like this, whatever that that energy of abundance is well earned. I feel like whatever it is that you're celebrating is yours, outright, like you earned it. But I definitely feel like there's going to be just kind of like some bright energy. I also get the feeling like if you are a girl watching this, I'm kind of looking at her robes, I'm looking at the cloth, and I'm just imagining someone kind of dancing around, right? So I wonder if there's just going to be some kind of happy event. Either that, or I'm kind of getting, I know this is a strange vibe, but maybe you're planning for something and you're looking forward to it. I'm getting a real anticipatory kind of excitement. So, that could be something like maybe your crush asked you out on a date and it's this weekend, right? Because you see all these majors here, right? Or some kind of culmination has occurred. But if you are a lady watching, or a man, doesn't matter, I really get the feeling that you're going to be so excited at the beginning of the week that you're almost going to kind of do a little dance. Like, I'm really seeing you, like, it's still winter here in North America, but almost as if you're kind of going to dance around your kitchen, you know, or something like that. Or you might swing a dish towel around like it's a, you know, like it's a drape or something. I just really feel like you're going to be so thrilled at something. And that kind of response can be in response to some kind of good news. So maybe you get the phone call that tells you something really positive, or maybe, you know, you get something that happened that, you know, that you've been waiting for, and it makes you want to do that little happy dance when you get off the phone. You know, you're all serious on the phone, like, yeah, okay, I got that movie deal. Yeah, thanks for calling. And then you hang up, and then you're just like, you know, oh yeah, you know. And the fact that I put this right over the sun, and you got the sun's rays. If you see that. So I think, you know, I do also think that whatever news you get at the beginning of the week is going to be kind of what happens towards the end of the week. So maybe this is a work-related thing. Now, by the middle of the week, you got the universe. And the universe is the world. It's card number 22. 22. And we actually have not had a tarot yet on the world. We're actually going to be doing that on Tuesday. So if you get a chance to join me for it, it's the last card of the Major Arcana. And the world, and actually this is a really gorgeous world card. It's going to be another tough choice, figuring out which cards I want to use for that read. But sorry guys. The world is the closing out of a cycle. It's the ending of a cycle. And I honestly think that, again, you know, these are energies that it isn't that, you know, some cycle came out of the blue in the middle of next week. No, it's something that you had been working towards that actually comes to culmination. And you're actually, it might not necessarily be over, but by the middle of next week, you're going to feel like you're closing the book, you're finishing a chapter of something that was a very, very big project for you. Now, the other thing that I can think of, again, with the good news from the beginning of the week, maybe you are doing some kind of presentation, or you're finishing up some kind of project. But definitely the world just kind of means that you're completing something, and you're going to feel, I take the artwork into consideration, and this is an angel. She's a little bit naked. It's a beautiful watercolor deck, but you see how she's looking down and her hands are up, and she's looking down, and it's just like boom. I'm getting a real, you have a lot of energy, pile 3, because I'm really channeling it. You know what I'm thinking? With her arms being out like that, I'm really thinking like, boom, drop the mic, right? Like, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing boom, like, okay, Elvis has left the building, you know? So I really get the feeling like maybe even at the beginning of the week, if this is some kind of presentation, maybe you were practicing at the beginning of the week. Maybe you were, you know, talking into a spatula, pretending like it was a microphone because you were practicing for whatever speech, and you're really trying to keep it loose. But I am definitely getting that by the middle of the week, you're going to feel as if some kind of, that it went well, and that you completed or you closed the book on some kind of major event. Now, by the end of the week, this is where it gets seriously, you know, it's getting major league heavy, is that you got 4 cards. You got the 6 of Cups, which means pleasure. And here, you know, don't be detoured. You see fish and you see a snake. And snakes are they're healing, and they also mean metamorphosis, but they also mean seduction. And what I kind of see is I see definitely some kind of, you know, being mesmerized by something. And then you got the 3 of Discs, and I love this card. The depiction's so great. You have buildings, and you have this person pushing what looks like this globe down the tracks, right? And if you look at the colors, guys. Doesn't the same color scheme look like the world? The universe, right? Which is the world. So, wow, that's amazing. And then the other two cards, you got Adjustment and you got the Magician. And Adjustment is normally justice, right? But I really do think that what's happening is that I do kind of get a feeling as if it's some kind of work project. I think, him pushing the globe down the tracks, the completion of this is taking you further towards your goals, and you're really working at it, right? You're really pushing that globe down the tracks, and you're getting where you want to go. And I do think, and the fact that this says pleasure, I'm getting a vibe as if, I'm really getting a sense as if this accomplishment, this chapter, you feel like yourself. You feel like yourself. It's almost like, and again, remember how we talked about the Nine of Cups usually means kind of not a smug person, but someone who is, proud. Someone who's like, yeah, this is mine, right? And here, just the way they look like they're floating, and they look like, I really get a sense that doing this work or whatever accomplishment that you had, working hard like this gives you a sense of self. And I think it makes you feel stronger in your self-esteem. And I think it makes you feel proud of yourself. And you like to feel proud of yourself. Like it does something very intrinsically to help strengthen you. Now, the thing is, with these cards being next to each other, and again, the colors are kind of similar, I do think that you are working on some kind of project that it could be a school project, but you're definitely, I just kind of see this person judging the ball, right? And judging the person too. But I think you really kind of put your heart and soul into something, and by the end of the week, you're going to kind of have that work judged. You're going to have you're going to have that work, have somebody make a decision on the quality of that work. And then the fact that you got the Magician is, I kind of read that one of two ways. I think either the person that's judging, and this could be a boss, it could be a teacher, it could be, the grade that you get. If you're a musician, maybe you have some kind of audition for something. But I have a feeling like the person who's going to be judging your work is very influential. It's someone who could really help you get places. Either that, or I feel like once you push this project through, once this project's done, or if you keep going, it's going to put you into a position where you can really manifest what you want. And that's what you're doing all this work for, right? You want to manifest, you want to continue to be yourself and get out there and work hard. But you want the ability, the Magician is an independent character. He creates things, right? He has all of the elements that he needs to, and I love this. You got the coin, you got the cup, you got the sword. He manifests what he wants in life. And I think whatever work with this closing of a cycle, it's going to allow you to do that. Excuse me. Also, this might be a little bit of a legal thing. That's the only other thing I can read, is that it does kind of look like somebody's working really hard and that judge is just kind of staring them down, so some of this work that you might be doing might be going to some kind of legal settlement. But I definitely feel that by the end of the week, the Magician's a very positive card. I think that you're really going to feel like you're in a good place, like you accomplished something, and you're going to be proud of yourself, and you're going to know that you worked hard, and you really are going to be in a position where you can create new things. Like, the Magician is one, the Universe is the last card, and the Magician is the first one after the Fool. So it's almost like one cycle ending, New one beginning, baby. That's awesome. Now, a few clarifiers is we got Strength and we got the High Priestess. And I do think that in that, I do think that there is, and this is kind of an undertone of this whole thing, I do think that in all of this work, you might be kind of harboring feelings for someone who's a little bit of an elusive character, someone who's very mysterious, kind of sexy and mysterious. It can also mean that throughout this process, working hard and doing, all of this, that I think that you may have really developed a very strong sense of what is hidden. And I think you've really had to keep your passion in check, right? You've really kept your passion in check, because if this is you have all this dynamic energy, and the key word on this is lust. So it could be, it could be a desire for a person, but you have all this energy underneath the surface, but this is what you show to the world, right? You keep that balance, and again, you see kind of a yin yang with the dark and the light. You really you've kept a good balance with what you're doing. Now, your theme, or your overall theme, your Lenormand, you got the heart. And the heart can mean a lot of things, but typically it definitely means romantic love. Now, in this read, I'm not getting a very strong, I'm not seeing people, right? I'm not seeing pairs of anything. I'm seeing a lot of work. I'm seeing, possibly a legal thing, which could be a marriage or some kind of commitment that's like a marriage. But I just think that maybe all of this work, or all of this, closing out of a cycle, it could be, it could be related to, it could have a little bit of a relation to your love life. Maybe you're trying to get to a certain place so you can, or maybe you've been working hard to try to get into a position where you could ask someone out. Again, this is a little bit read one of two ways, because if this is your energy, this is you holding back and maintaining a very spiritual, higher view of things. But if this is a person that you are looking at, and again, you can be male, female, doesn't matter. If this is the person that you're looking at, you have your eye on someone who is real mysterious, and they're very intriguing. The High Priestess I always kind of see as kind of the it girl. She's a very spiritual figure, but she's elusive, and she kind of has this allure. It's a kind of a magnetism. But with the holding back of the lion, that definitely can mean lust. So maybe that's, again, we had said one of the other meanings is maybe you are looking forward to something really exciting, towards the end of the week or towards the weekend. But either way, I think you have a really good week. You're definitely going to see some kind of energy from the middle to the end of the week. And but fear not. I'm definitely, it's interesting. I'm seeing the closing of one cycle and the beginning of another, and the cycle that you're going into is going to be real powerful, guys. And I feel like the other thing is that you're going to be embracing your power too. That's the other thing that I get from this card, is that you're no longer going to be holding back. You're going to be embracing it. Very soon after you do all this work, you're going to be able to do what you want to do. And again, with the Nine of Cups, you're going to be able to do it in your way. All right. Well, that was an awesome read, guys. I really enjoyed that. And I so love that we got to pull out our mini decks again. These are my smaller decks since we're using the Lenormand. But I'm so glad that you can join me today. Please let me know. I will be doing some specialty readings coming up soon as I get more time and more energy and more sleep. But in the meantime, I am How to Taroting on the World on Tuesday, which is the last of the major arcana. So I hope you can join me with that. And if there's any other reads that you want me to do, please leave a comment. And I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.